memory of a terrifying event that occurred by the river 5 years ago still haunts Jack to this day. The incident was no laughing matter. Jack had nearly drowned during a solo fishing trip. Reflecting on that fateful night, Jack shuddered at the thought of how close he had come to death. "It's sobering to realize how easily I could have lost my life," he remarked. Reluctantly, Jack agreed to recount his harrowing experience as a cautionary tale for fellow anglers. The story unfolded with Jack indulging in his favorite pastime of fishing, often at the expense of time with his family. One night, as he prepared to head home, his friend Steve appeared unexpectedly, drenched from head to toe. I couldn't fathom why Steve, who had no interest in fishing, would be there, soaked and asking for help retrieving a fish trap from the river, Jack recalled. Despite his misgivings, Jack followed Steve into the darkness, noting the peculiarities in his friend's behavior and footsteps. But Jack brushed aside his concerns, attributing Steve's uncharacteristic presence to a desire to learn about fishing. Little did he know that his leisurely pursuit would turn into a life-threatening ordeal. Suddenly, Jack found himself caught in a powerful current, with Steve nowhere to be seen. Struggling against the relentless pull of the river, Jack fought for his life until he was rescued by a passing angler. It was a brush with death that left Jack shaken to the core, prompting him to abandon fishing altogether. As Jack reflected on the events of that night, he couldn't shake the feeling that perhaps it was a wake-up call, a reminder to prioritize his family over his hobbies. With a heavy heart, Jack bid farewell to his beloved pastime, vowing never to return to the river's edge. And though Steve remained elusive, his enigmatic smile served as a haunting reminder of the mysterious circumstances surrounding that fateful night by the river. Jack's decision to abandon fishing wasn't an easy one. It was a hobby deeply ingrained in his identity, a solace he sought in the tranquility of nature's embrace. Yet, the specter of that traumatic night loomed over him like a dark cloud, casting a shadow on his once beloved pastime. As days turned into weeks, Jack grappled with the aftermath of his near-death experience. Flashbacks haunted his dreams, and the sound of rushing water triggered panic attacks. His wife, Sarah, watched helplessly as her husband withdrew into himself, his once vibrant spirit dimmed by the weight of his trauma. Desperate to break free from the shackles of his fear, Jack sought solace in therapy. Each session was a journey into the depths of his subconscious, where he confronted the demons that threatened to consume him. With the help of his therapist, Jack gradually pieced together the fragments of that fateful night, unraveling the tangled web of emotions that had held him captive for so long. But just as Jack began to find a semblance of peace, fate dealt him another cruel blow. Sarah's sudden illness rocked their world, plunging Jack into a whirlwind of fear and uncertainty. As he grappled with the possibility of losing his beloved wife, Jack found himself at a crossroads once again. In the midst of Sarah's illness, Jack was forced to confront the harsh reality of his priorities. The time he had once devoted to fishing now seemed trivial in comparison to the precious moments he shared with his family. With a newfound clarity, Jack made a solemn vow to cherish every moment he had with Sarah, to savor the simple joys of life that he had taken for granted for so long. As Sarah battled bravely against her illness, Jack became her unwavering pillar of strength, drawing strength from the love that bound them together. And though the road ahead was fraught with challenges, Jack faced it with a newfound resilience, his heart filled with gratitude for the second chance he had been given. Years passed, and the memory of that harrowing night by the river began to fade, replaced by the warmth of cherished moments shared with loved ones. Jack never returned to the river's edge, but in his heart, he carried the lessons learned from his brush with death, a reminder to cherish every moment and never take anything for granted. And though the scars of the past would always remain, they served as a testament to Jack's resilience and the unwavering power of love to conquer even the darkest of shadows.